Okay. So what is binary then? So binary is a translated version of your source code. Okay. Which that can be supplied. For instance, an exe is a binary, an RPM, a jar, var, add, okay, and DLL. So all these things are binaries. Okay. You might have seen if you download any software, it is like it will be exe. Okay. Or else it will be something called a single executable file .dll or .msi. You might have seen, right? So if you download any software, it will be like that. So then when you execute that, then some software will be installed, right? We have installed Visual SVN. So what you got actually? You got some MSI or exe. After executing that on your laptop, then only, okay, you are able to open that application and then you can work on that Visual SVN, right? So as a developer, they will develop the code, okay, and as a build engineer, I am going to convert that source code to the binary, okay, and then we'll ship it to the customer. So you have a source code on one side developed by developers, and build engineers generate your binaries, which is actually shipped to the customer. So by seeing this discussion, you can say that build is a process of converting your source code into binary. Got it? So whatever the development they're going to do, it is just like a plain English. Okay, you can understand that what they are doing. Okay, all these things you can understand. But a machine cannot understand that whatever the Java code or binary code, whatever you have developed, okay, Java code or .NET. So machine cannot understand because it is in English. So you have to convert that to the machine level language. Okay, that is nothing but a binary. Only machine can understand 0 and 1, not your English, whatever you are developing the program. Okay, so it is not able to understand. Machine cannot, laptop cannot, or this whatever server, it cannot understand your English, whatever you are coded. But when you convert that, so if the machine should understand that, or if you want to install it on any machines, then you have to convert that into the binary. Okay, then when you run that, it is going to be compiled, and then whatever application is required, it will be operating on your system. Okay, so this is how your build is going to work. Okay, so developers are going to develop your code, and then build is going to convert your source code to binary. Okay, so that is nothing but build management. Okay, that is nothing but your build management. Okay, so build management involves compiling the source code. Okay, compiling source artifacts, you can say artifact, and then packaging them into deployable artifacts. So once you compile the source code, okay, source artifacts, and then it is going to be converted into a package, and that can be deployable to any machine. Okay, this process I'll call it as a build management. Okay, build management is a process which involves compiling the source code and then converting them or packaging them into a deployable artifacts. This process I'll call it as a build management. Okay. So, for instance, you have a Java-based web application. Okay, something eBay. Okay, you have some browser in which you're going to access your eBay. Okay, what you see in the browser is HTML, JSP. Okay, all these things are working together. So browser understands HTML web content, and product description data is present in the database component. In between, we have a servlet middleware. Okay. So what is this binary of Java code? So Java code will undergo two steps actually before I create it. Okay. Okay, we'll come to this Java code. Okay. For a while, okay, we'll stop that and then we'll see what is build process now. Okay. You know what is build process? Creating binaries for your Java code and then you're packaging them nicely into a single executable jar var add. Okay. So this is a manual process. Like you are going to compile the source code and then create a war file or final package where you will keep all these things. This is a manual process. You're going to do that by running some commands. But as a DevOps engineer, build engineer, I want to automate this. I don't want to, okay, do it manually. So for this, actually what I'll do is I'll write a script which actually does all these steps. Okay, like by compiling the source code and then creating the final package. All these things I'm going to do it in a single click, okay, single button click. So that is called build automation. Okay. So what is build automation now? It is a scripting to automate a series of tasks that form your build process. Okay. Which includes like compilation, packaging, deployment, running some test case. Okay, all these things form your build automation. So that I'm going to run it in a script. Because if I depend on a single engineer, okay, imagine that in old, like 10 years before, there is a source code engineer. So like one person is going to work on only version control. Another person is going to work on only build management. So that person is dedicated for build. So normally you used to come evening, okay, because when you are going to do the build, when development is completed, after that only you are going to do the build. Okay. So normally developers work morning and then they are going to complete the development late evening or something like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, something like that. So after completion of your coding, then only you are going to compile that source code to convert into binary. Build automation is going to happen little bit late night. So for this actually, once the developers finishes their work, build engineer starts his work. So normally he comes evening or late night and they are going to compile and they do the build automation. So one engineer is dedicated for this. So his work is every day he comes evening, so he works in a shift. So this was the tedious work. And then moreover build. No? So once you create this script, just you're going to run the script and then you're going to monitor what is going to happen. So it will take a lot of time, 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, 4 hours, sometimes 5 hours, depending on how many source code files you have. All these things will be combined and then they're going to compile and then package that and create a single file, okay, single executable file. So the build engineer used to work late evening. So he used to run this script. His work is only to do this. Okay. So every day, okay, night shift means it will be a problem for you also. Okay. That engineer also got bored and just to run this and monitor what happens in case of any issues. So you will contact the developers and then they will fix that and again you will do this build, something like that. So imagine that okay, that person is not able to come today. Okay, tonight there is a build we have to do, and then that person is absent, and he knows how to do the build. But if that person is not available, then how you are going to do this? So you have to contact him, then take a suggestion how to do all this, right? So instead of that, what we are going to do is okay, we automate the build management process itself. So what we'll do is we'll write a script. Okay, so we'll capture his knowledge, everything, and then we'll put it into a script. So if he is absent also, we can run this script and then we can see what happens. Okay. So this is a automation process. Okay. That is why automated build management forms a cornerstone of your release management. Okay. The frequency of build can vary depending on the nature of the project. Normally, daily build of project is highly recommended. Practice section. Okay. This process will call as a continuous integration. Every day we are going to do the build. Okay. So it's a normally night we are going to run. That is daily build, nightly build will call this. Okay. Clear? So that is nothing but a automation of build. I'm going to capture all the activities. What are the steps we are going to do in a script? When you run that script, it performs a series of tasks. Okay, that build your your final artifacts. Okay, so a build management includes a series of tasks. Okay, so by saying all these things, you can understand that build is a process of generating the project artifacts. Okay, what is this artifact means? Artifacts are final entities that can be directly deployed on the server. Okay, you got it? Build is a process of generating your project artifacts. Project artifact is nothing but a final entity that can be directly deployed on the server. Okay, so this is about the build management. Clear? Got the concept? What is build? Build is a process of generating project artifacts, converting your source code to binary. These artifacts are final entities that can be deployed directly on the server. Okay, then only you'll come to know what they have developed. Since it is a binary, nobody can understand. If you ship this to the customer also, they can't understand until unless they deploy this package to any particular server. If you get that package, okay, if you don't have that server platform, you can't do anything with that because it's a binary. Only machine can understand. Okay, clear? This is what build management or a build process. So now we'll see how to automate this. Okay, no need to worry about, okay, I don't know Java programming or anything, something like that. It is not like that. It's just you have to understand how this build management workflow happens, and then we'll write a simple script and then we will execute that. So there is no need of prior knowledge of any programming or anything. Okay. So because developers will be there, they will do the development. So we will least bother. So we have to see how this build is going to happen, how they're going to convert this to the final package. Okay, clear? What is build now? Any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Now you got an idea, okay, how this build is going to, what is build management. So now we'll see how this build is going to happen. So now we're going to work on Java. Okay, Java code build automation. So we are going to perform the build using the Java. What does this Java contains? What is the final package we are going to create? Okay, all these things we are going to discuss now. Till now, is that clear? What is build now? Everybody? Let us say unmute and say okay, anything. Able to follow or not? I think everyone is in mute.
Yes, sir. Able to.
Okay. Now able to see my screen, right? See. Okay. So everybody able to see the screen right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, now we're going to discuss about the Java build automations. Okay, not Java programming. Okay, remember. So the developers are going to, okay, they are going to do the coding. They are going to write Java program, whatever it is. Okay. See, in a Java code, how this build automation is going to happen? Okay, what is a binary of Java code? See, Java code will undergo two steps before I create a binary. What are those two steps? One is compilation. Okay. So when I compile the Java code, so here you will be having a Java code. Okay. See, .java files. The programmer, whatever they're going to develop, they're going to create a file, and that file extensions will be .java. Okay. So .java means it is a source code. Okay. So here you can see for every .java file, okay, for every single Java file, I'll get a .class file after compilation. Okay. After compilation, whatever .java file is there, that will be converted into .class files. This I'll call it as a bytecode or binary or a project artifact. Okay. To convert this Java to binary .class files, you require a Java compiler. Okay. This I'll call as a JDK, Java Development Kit, JDK. So once the developer provide the Java code, using the JDK, Java compiler, I'm going to compile this source code and then I'll convert this to the .class file. See, whatever name, some name basava.java is there, this will be converted into binary. Once you compile it, it will convert it into binary called .class. Like this, you have some 100 files. Okay, keshav.java, okay, bhavana.java, shankar.java, something like that. All team members, imagine that everybody is going to work on this Java. Okay, how many participants are there? 10 participants are there. So 10 people, they're going to create a 10.java files. So I am not going to send this Java files to the customer. What I'll do, I'll convert this to the binary 10 Java files, 10 .class files after compilation. So this process I'll call as a build. Okay. So what is this class file then? This is a compiled version of your Java code. Okay. Which can run on any system platform where Java is installed. Okay. The class file will consist of a bytecode. The bytecode is only understood by almost all the operating system. Okay. Normal, it is not in a normal human readable form. It will be in a machine language, converted into a machine language, bytecode. Okay. Since we have one .java file here, it is going to convert it into one .class file. So if one file, okay, you can ship. Suppose you imagine that you have 100 class files or 1,000 class files or lakhs together of class files after converting Java. Okay. So you have 100 .java files, 100 class files will be created. Okay. Since we cannot ship this 100 class files to our customer one by one by one by one, it's not like that. So if you have 1,000 files, you can't convert, you can convert to 1,000 class files and then you can't shift one by one, right? So what we are going to do is we archive them or we bundle them as a single, okay, jar file or war file or EAR file. Okay. So by seeing this build process, see, creating binary from your Java source code, and we are going to package them as a single executable file called jar var add. and then we'll ship it to the customer. Okay, clear? So, what is this jar var R? So, see here, this is your source code. So, developers are going to work on. So, if you say what is your application, in which language they are written, we'll say Java. Okay, so developers will write the code in Java, and after build, after compilation, okay, what you are going to get, the final package is jar var R. Remember this, okay? So final package is jar var R. We are interested in this jar var R. As a build engineer, I had to convert this Java to jar var R. This I'll call it as artifacts, binary, or package, whatever it is. Okay. So to convert this Java code to jar var R, what is the tool I am going to use? This is a process actually. Okay. Build is a process of converting your source code to binary. Okay. So you remember, as a build engineer, as a DevOps engineer, you have to remember only this much. Whatever development they're going to do, let them develop. Developers will do that and they'll create a Java file. Once they create a Java file, then I have to convert this into jar var R. This is a final package. This I will send it to the customer. To convert this Java to the binary, we required for build automation, we required a tool. That tools will call as Ant and Maven. Okay, remember. So like SVN, we have a tool called for SCM, source code management, we have a tool called SVN and Git. In the same way, to manage this build automation of Java project, we have a tool called Ant and Maven. Okay, clear? So now once you know this process, entire process, how this build happens, what are the tools we are going to use, how to convert. So once you know this, then if it is a different language, say if it is a .NET, then tools will be NANT and MS build. If it is a C or C++, the build tool will be make. Using these build tools, I'm going to convert this source code into packages. So just you have to remember here, first you know the Java process, how this build happens. See, if you know how to drive a single car, right? Any type of car. If you know, in olden days we used to drive Ambassador or Omni, right? So if you know how to drive the car, okay, like Omni or Ambassador, if you give a Benz or if you give Audi or whatever car, okay, you can drive that, right? Right? In the same way, if you know the build process for Java language, whatever may be the language, okay, if it is a .NET, C, Python, whatever the PHP, whatever they're going to develop. If you know one process, okay, one process, the build process for any one of the language, Java, okay, if you know this, then you can do it for .NET or C++, whatever. Only thing is the final package differs here, okay. They will ask an interview, okay, do you know programming or do you know the development? No, I'm not a programmer. Okay. But I know what happens. Okay. I know what is the build process because your development is half of the work done. The next is build process, right? We have to convert and we have to send it to the customer. So I am not going to send the source code to the customer. So I have to convert this to the binary. For Java, these are the binaries, jar var R. Then tool is ant and man. The same way, okay, I'm not a developer, but I know how this process happens. What is the final package you are going to get? And I know how to write the script and do the build automation. I know it for Java. Since I worked on Java build automation from past 5 years or 3 years, 4 years. So if it is your coding, if your okay code is Java instead of Java, if it is .NET, okay, I know what is the tools they're going to use, MS Build or NAND, and then they are going to convert the .NET to .msi, .dll, .dx. This is the final package. If it is a C language or C++, I'll use the make. as the build tool, and then I'll convert this to .obj file or .rpm. Okay, I know this how it works. Okay, but I got only opportunity to work on Java build automation. I know this. So if it is your requirement on .NET or C, C++, since I am worked on Java build automation from 3 or 4 years, I know how it works. Okay, I know if it is a .NET, .msi, .dll or .exe is the final package, and then I know the build tool which they're going to use MS Build or not. If it is your requirement, I can do this also. If your requirement is this C or C++, I know what is the final package and what is the tool. I can do the build automation for this also. Okay, so that's how you can talk. Since I didn't get any opportunity on .NET or C++, I worked only on Java, and I know the build automation is going to work like this. Okay, I can do it for this also. That's not a big deal. Got it? Like that, you have to explain them. I am not a programmer, but I know how to do the build automation. This is how I'm going to do it. Okay. Okay. So now I will deep dive into this Java build automation. Okay. Now I know the developers are going to work on Java. So what are the final package I'm going to get this? Java app. Okay. So now what is this jar? JAR jar. I know I'm going to get this as a final package. So what is this jar? Jar means it is nothing but Java archive. Short form of Java archive is called jar. Okay. So jar is a Java archive file. It contains all dot class files, images, sound, and then other files which will need in a whole application. Okay. We're going to develop some application. For that application, you're going to compile this Java source code and you're going to get something called dot class files. That is the final, like that is a compiled version of your Java. Okay, dot class files. And other files also will be generated, something like image files, sound files, and other components of your Java. Okay, so all these things are bundled into a single jar file as a whole application. Okay, so that is what Java archive. So Java archive file, this format, Java archive file format enables you to bundle multiple files into a single archive file. So I told now, if you have 1,000 Java files, I can't ship one by one to customer because I have 1,000 class files. How many Java files you have? That many class files will be created when you do the compilation. But I can't ship one by one. So I am going to bundle it as a single executable file called jar. Okay, Java archive. So that extension will be .java, .jar. Okay. So this is designed mainly to facilitate the packaging of your Java applications into a single archive file. So instead of shipping one by 1,000 files, I am going to bundle this, archive this as a single executable file called jar file, Java archive. Okay. So next, what is var? I told three types of files you're going to get right after compilation. Then what is var? Okay. Var is nothing but your web archive. Okay. So web archive is a bundle of .jar files. So you will include this jar file in var file. Okay. Var is a bundle of jar file and as well as other files like JSPs, okay, and then servlets, and then HTML, and then GIFs. So all these are developed by the Java developers. Okay. So they are going to work on in Java. There are so many different components. Like they will work on JSP, they work on servlet, developers will work on HTML, GIFs. So they will develop this. Okay. And then all these things I'm going to compile and then create a class file and then bundle it as a jar. And jar also is included in this one. Okay. Var file is a Java archive file used to store something called JSP servlets and then classes, metadata information, images and sound and other tag libraries. Okay. It's a standard file extension is .var. Okay. The file extension after creating the package is .var. The var file is for web application. Remember this. Web application deployed to a servlet or